Good morning, students. So let's read the chapter A Letter to God written by G.L. Fintis. So this is the first chapter of your book, First Flight, and this is for Standard 10. So this is the small story which is written by Gregoria Lopez y Fuentes, a Mexican writer who was one of the most important chronicles of the Mexican Revolution and its effects. The story presents the infinite faith of a man to God. Lencho, the main character of the story, even he experienced a great turbulence in his livelihood, which made him worry, still believes that a help from God will come and that his family will not go hungry despite what happened. The theme of the story, if I am going to base it in a biblical sense, whatever troubles you, encounter always believe in God, for He will always carry you and never leave you. However, the story is a satire trying to tackle a reality which really exists in the society. So, this is a story basically of a man who has great faith in God and how he encounters a trouble, but still he doesn't leave the hands of God. And this is the critical analysis of the story. Let's see. The story is told in third person point of view. The story begins with a brief description of the setting, in which we could safely say that it happened in the rural area of Mexico. The setting or the plot or the surrounding, it remotely talks about a house which is singled out in the entire valley, a hill, the river which is seen on heights, the field of corn tilted by the family gives us an idea in the first paragraph of the story that Lencho, the main character, he is a farmer. He supports his family needs through farming. The conflict of the story happens when a hailstorm struck the field and destroyed his farm. So there is a conflict between man and nature. Nature, which always is protective, sometimes becomes turbulent. So here the story begins with the house. Here you can see in the picture, the house refers to a single house, the only one in the entire valley. So how many houses were there in the valley? Only one, which sat on the crest of a low hill. What do you mean by crest? Top of the hill. From this height one could see the river, the field of ripe corn dotted with the flowers that always promised a good harvest. What the writer wants to say here, that there was a house on top of the hill, and from that height what things he could see? There are three things. What are they? You could see the river, you could see the field, and you could see the corn plants which were covered with flowers. And what it promised? A good harvest. So the only thing the earth needed was a downpour, or at least a shower. So what the earth needed, what the corns needed, what the field needed, it was only a downpour. Downpour refers to here rain. So it wanted only a shower of rain. Throughout the morning, Lencho, who knew his fields intimately, had done nothing else but see the sky towards the northeast. So, Lencho, he had a good idea. He was an experienced farmer and he had a good idea about the fields, and he knew his fields intimately. And what this field wanted? It wanted a shower of rain. And he was doing nothing except what he was doing? He was looking at the sky towards the northeast. Perhaps he was hoping that there will be some rain. So, in the anticipation of the rain, so he was looking at the sky towards which side? Northeast. Let's see the next line. Now we are really going to get some water, woman. So who is this woman here? So woman refers to his wife. So he said to his wife that they are going to get some water. Water from where? From the nature. That means really it is going to rain after some time. The woman who was preparing supper replied, "Yes, God willing." This shows that she was a very dedicated and religious woman. She had faith in God, that yes, God willing. that whatever God wills, it will happen. So the older boys were working in the field while the smaller ones were playing near the house until the woman called to them all, "Come for dinner." So, how many people are there in the family? The farmer, Lencho, his wife, the older boys, and the smaller ones. So, he had a very happy and complete family where the family members are devoted to God, they are hardworking, and it's a very fulfilling and happy family. So, Lencho had everything, a very good field, ripe corn was there, which promised a good harvest, a wife who was religious and devoted, children who were hardworking. So everything was there for him. So what the woman called, why the woman called them? To have the food. And what were the older boys doing? So they were working in the field. You can underline that. And what the smaller ones were doing? They were playing near the house. It was during the meal that just as Lencho had predicted means he said it beforehand. So what happened? You can see the picture. So what happened? Big drops of rain began to fall. In the northeast, huge mountains of clouds could be seen approaching. The air was fresh and sweet. The man went out for no other reason than to have the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. And when he returned, he exclaimed, "There aren't raindrops falling from the sky, they are new coins. The big drops are 10-cent pieces and the little ones are 5." So what we understood from these lines, that whatever Lencho had predicted, whatever he had said earlier, and he looked at the sky and said, they are going to have some water, they are going to have some rain now. And when they were having their food, eating their food, suddenly the rain started, and big drops of rain began to fall. And from that northeast side, what could be seen? Approaching means coming. What they could see? Mountains of clouds. And what about the air? The air was fresh and sweet. What are the adjectives used by the writer for air? What kind of air it was? There are two adjectives used here, fresh and sweet. And what the man did now? So he went outside. There was any reason? No, not very big reason for that. But he went there to have the pleasure, to feel the rain on his body. So he was enjoying the rain on his body. So why he went outside? He went outside to have you can underline this line, the pleasure of feeling the rain on his body. And then when he came back, when he returned, and he exclaimed with happiness. And what he said about the raindrops which were falling from the sky, so they are new coins. New coins refers to here money. So he compared the raindrops with the money. Can you tell why? What he expected in the first paragraph, that what was the earth needed, what the earth needed, it needed rain. And after the rain, what will happen? The harvest will be more, it will give a good profit. So he compared the raindrops with new coins, and he compared the big drops are 10 cents and the little ones as 5. So he was very happy, ecstatic. He was, you can say, he was full of hope that after this rainfall, the harvest will be more and they're going to get good profit from that. So what he compared the raindrops with? With the new coins. And the big drops were compared as 10-cent pieces, and the small ones were compared with 5 cent. With a satisfied expression, he regarded the field of ripe corn with its flowers, draped in a curtain of rain. Draped means covered. But suddenly, as I had told you, there is a conflict. So now the turbulence began, the problem began. And what was that? A strong wind began to blow, and along with the rain, very large hailstones began to fall. These truly did resemble new silver coins. The boys, exposing themselves to the rain, ran out to collect the frozen pearls. So here what happened? Now he was happy, satisfied. With satisfied expression, he looked at his field of ripe corn, which had lots of flowers in it, and it was covered with the rain. But suddenly something happened, and what was that? The strong wind began to blow, and the small beautiful drops of rain, it converted to large hailstone. Hailstone means pebbles, like ice pebbles, you can say. And it fell down, and it was compared with silver coins because it looks white. So it was also compared like frozen balls. The boys, they went outside and they collected these frozen pearls, this hail stone. "It's really getting bad now," exclaimed the man. Earlier he was very happy, he exclaimed with happiness, but now he is little worried because of the hailstones. "It is getting really bad now. I hope it passes quickly." But to his bad luck, these hailstones, or the rain of these hailstones, hailstorm, didn't pass quickly. For an hour the hail rained on the house, the garden, the hillside, the cornfield, on the whole valley. So for 1 hour these hailstones, it poured down from the sky, and it covered everything. So the field was white as if covered with salt. Not a leaf remained on the trees. The corn was totally destroyed. The flowers were gone from the plants. Lento's soul was filled with sadness. So what happened? You can see the previous slide. So earlier you can see in the beginning line, satisfaction. But now he is worried. So the whole field, the whole valley was covered with this ice, this pebbles of ice. And now the hail, or that HAIL, hail, that ice stones, so they fell down on the field, and it was looking white as if it was covered with salt. Not a leaf remained on the earth because of the pelting, because of that stones, that pebbles, that hail. The leaves had gone. The corn was destroyed because for 1 hour continuously there was the hailstones, there was hailstorm, the wind blew away the flowers. And now Lengcho, who was very happy with the hope of a profit, now his soul was filled with sadness. Why? Because everything was destroyed. When the storm had passed, he stood in the middle of the field. So now he was helpless. He was sad. What he did, he went, when the storm was over, he went to his field and saw that everywhere he could see only that hailstones, everything was gone, everything was destroyed. He stood in the middle of the field and said to his sons, "A plague of locusts would have left more than this. The hail has left nothing." So locust is a, so what is locust? It's insect which fly in big swarms, group and destroy crops. So locust is a kind of insect. A plague of locust. Locust means a kind of insect which destroys the earth, which eats the flowers and the fruits. So it would have left more than this, and this hailstorm had left nothing for them. "This year we will have no corn." That night was a sorrowful one. "All our work for nothing. There is no one who can help us. We will all go hungry this year." So this up to this we will read today. So what was the feeling of Lencho here when he saw his cornfield destroyed by the hailstorm? So he was very sad, so became sorrowful. So he said, "This year they will have no corn because everything has been destroyed by this wind and this hailstone." That night was a sorrowful one for them. So their all hard work, their all uh, everything, it has been, it has yielded nothing for them. So there is no one who can help them, and they will go hungry this year. So they have nothing to eat now. They had all hopes on this cornfield, but now after this hailstorm, everything is destroyed. So they will go hungry this year. So let's see what are the questions. What did Lencho hope for? Why did Lencho say the raindrops were like new coins? How did the rain change? What happened to Lencho's field? What were Lencho's feelings when the hail stopped? So we discussed everything. You can write down these questions. If you have any doubt, you can contact us through email. So thank you for the time being.